Shameless commerce time here on Fire Your MD Now, Wednesday, the 28th day of May, 2014. Wednesday, the 28th day of May, 2014. Welcome aboard, everybody. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and if you haven't bought my book, the question before the board is, why? I mean, what are you waiting for? $9.99. You can download it to your computer right now. $9.99. If you're an old-fashioned type like me and prefer paper and ink, $19, I believe. $19.95, I think, is the price. So check it out on my website, drglidden.com, drglidden.com, or fireyourmdnow.com. Or if you can't remember any of those, just do a Google search for Dr. Glidden. That's me. I always pop up number one and follow the links. So, why is this important? Because knowledge is power, and for the last almost 100 years here in the United States, and quite frankly Canada and the European Union and everywhere around the world to varying degrees, people have been socialized to believe that the MD is the king of the hill, that their MD knows what's best for them, and it's a lie. It's not so. It's a myth. The earth is not flat. Blacks are not animals. That's how slavery was justified. Oh, they're not people, they're animals, and you can own them like property and do whatever the heck you want with them. In order to have a vital economy, you need to put the kids to work. Childhood labor is a necessity. Yeah, right. Those are all cultural myths, right, that we look back at now and laugh. Well, we're in the middle of a cultural myth right now. It's the ridiculous notion that your MD knows what's best for you, and your MD is the sole owner of the domain of medicine, and everybody else is a back-of-the-bus quack with substandard training. It's a lie. It's a myth. It's nonsense. But it has been brought to you quite successfully by the pharmaceutical industry. Sold to you, pitched to you quite successfully. So much so that the pharmaceutical industry and the MDs have completely monopolized the medical theater. So what happens when you're in absolute power? It corrupts absolutely. This from Medscape.com. A settlement has been reached between a drug company called Boehringer Ingelheim, and approximately 4,000 individuals involved in state and federal lawsuits. People claimed that the drug Pradaxa caused serious adverse effects, the vast majority of which were bleeding-related events, including fatal bleeding. The settlement amounted to $650 million, and the company expects that most of the plaintiffs will accept its terms. In a statement issued by the company, a senior vice president and general counsel, Desiree Ralls-Morrison, says, the company believed from the outset that the plaintiffs' claims lacked merit, but the settlement allows the company to avoid lengthy litigation, which would be a distraction. This settlement does not change the facts that Pradaxa or its importance to patients, right? So, when you're the king, you can kill the peasants and nothing happens to you except, well, maybe you have to pay the peasants' relatives a handful of coins. 13 coins? In this case, 650 million coins. So, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and when the MDs screw up and kill people or hurt people, maybe they have to pay a fine, maybe not. Nobody goes to jail. But more than that, there's no public outrage. What would happen if a chiropractor killed one patient? What would happen if an herbalist gave one patient an herb and it caused internal bleeding and they died? What would happen if a naturopathic doctor gave a patient a treatment and the treatment caused internal bleeding and they died? What would happen? I'll tell you what would happen. We'd be kicked out of the medical field. We'd be jailed. We'd be vilified on the altar of public opinion. It would be front page news all around the world. Oh, those quacks. We need to have serious legislation to limit all this alternative nonsense, because look what it does. But the MDs kill people, the MDs harm people, the MDs hurt people, the MDs bankrupt people, and nothing happens. Nobody blinks a flippin' eyelash. We all just have bought into the notion. We've all drunk the Kool-Aid. I mean, admit it. You've drunk the Kool-Aid. If you hadn't drunk the Kool-Aid, you wouldn't be putting up with this. All right? So 4,000 individuals, right? 4,000 individuals. Let's say there's 200 people on a jet airliner. 200 people on a jet airliner. That's like 20 jet airliners crashing. If 20 jet airliners crashed, all from the same airline, if 20 jet airliners crashed all last year, wouldn't there be a federal investigation? You think the company would still be in business? Yeah, they'd probably be bankrupt, right? Nobody's going to want to fly on that airline anymore. And, the Federal Aviation Administration would get involved, and they'd want to fix the problem. They'd want to get right to the root of the problem. Or, if kindergarten teachers all of a sudden started killing people. Right? If kindergarten teachers in one city all of a sudden started killing their kids and 4,000 children were killed by their kindergarten teachers, there would be a serious investigation into what the heck is going on. What is there, some kind of a kindergarten cult? But when the drug companies kill people, when the drug companies harm people, they get a pass. Now, why is that? That's what I want to know. That's the question before the board today. Why do we give the drug companies a pass? And why do we still feel comfortable about getting advice from the people who are the leading cause of death and the leading cause of bankruptcy? Why do we still feel comfortable getting advice from MDs who, since they have dominated the medical theater for the last 80 years, at least here in the United States, have led under their watchful eye? Autism has skyrocketed. Alzheimer's has skyrocketed. Arthritis is getting worse. It hasn't skyrocketed, but it's not getting better. Type 2 diabetes is skyrocketing. Obesity, skyrocketing. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the leading cause of bankruptcy, MD-directed medical treatments. Well, how can this all be? Well, because the most expensive type of medicine is the one that doesn't work. MD-directed medicine for chronic ailments. The things that most people go to the doctor for most of the time do not work. They don't work. They don't work. They do not work. You don't believe me? Well, think about high blood pressure. Can your MD cure high blood pressure? No. They can't cure it. They can manage it. Can they cure arthritis? How about that? Can they cure arthritis? No. They can manage the pain until the joint gets so bad you need to get it cut out. How about heartburn? That must be simple. Can the MD cure heartburn? No. They can manage it, though, with, the little purple pill for the rest of your life. People, there's a serious cognitive dissonance here. There is serious cognitive dissonance. People have put the MDs up on the altar of, medical science, and that these people bring to the table the best that science has to offer, the best that educated, intelligent society has to offer in the treatment of disease and the understanding even of disease. Forget about treatment. And it's not true. It's a myth. It's a medical myth. The earth is not flat. Blacks are not animals. Childhood labor is a bad idea. Your MD does not know what's best for you. Your MD knows what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is a tiny piece of the pie of medical science. But, Marcus Welby and Hawkeye Pierce and George Clooney and all of these television personalities, House, right, sell us the ridiculous notion that the MDs are really good at what they do. That what they should do is a reality series like Cops. That's what they should do. That would be great, wouldn't it? It paints quite a different picture of law enforcement, doesn't it, when they actually follow the cops around with cameras, when the cops will let you follow them around with cameras. It's very different than, Blue Bloods or any of these other TV shows. It's completely different. Well, if they did a reality show about medical treatment, people would stop going to the MDs. If everybody in this country got a copy of my book, if every cancer patient got a copy of my book and asked their oncologist, The 10 questions that I have in my book, in my chapter on cancer, with a recording device and a witness, cancer treatment would go to zero. It wouldn't go to zero. Some people would still do it. But cancer treatment would significantly drop because cancer treatment doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it's been proven to be ineffective. It's been proven to be ineffective. It doesn't work. But people trust that the MD knows what's best, and so the MD tells people what they're going to do. They don't ask you. They tell you what you should do, and people believe it. People fall in lockstep. It's like the lemmings chasing each other over the cliff, if that's even a true story. Right? It's monkey see, monkey do, and people just go along for the ride because that's social convention. Sure, let's buy some slaves today. Why not? Everybody's doing it. Let's put our kids to work. We need to make a little bit more money for the family, so send the 7-year-old to the sweatshop. Why not? He's old enough to work. He can open and close his hand, can he? This is how it goes. It becomes reality by consensus because everybody's doing it. Everybody does it. Apparently, the lemmings over the cliff thing was a staged experiment, but it's a metaphor, right? It's a metaphor for people doing what everybody else does just because everybody else does it, not because it's a real thing, not because it's an effective thing. And this is why my book is so important. This is why this radio show is so important. This is why Ben Fuchs' show is so important. This is why Dr. Wallach's show is so important. This is why Longevity Nation is so important. Because we are standing on the mountaintop telling the truth. MD-directed medical treatments for chronic disease don't work. You need a different approach that's science-based, clinically verified, developed and delivered by physicians, and guess what? You have just found it. Deborah from New York is up next. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now let's get to it. This is Fire Your MD Now. drglidden.com. Click on the store button. Download a copy of my book right now. It will save somebody's life. Deborah from New York is up first with a question about vision, I think. Hey, Deborah, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Yes. Hello, doctor. It's a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you for taking my call. I was impressed in hearing about the study with patients that had macular degeneration. They had very poor eyesight, I think legally blind, and I heard that this small study, this group of people, got their 20/20 vision, which was so impressive and incredible. I wanted to know what they did. I wanted to know how long it took. Did they take eye injections? Was that something that you believe in or not?
Okay, great questions. Well, so let me start at the back and work forwards, right? Belief is irrelevant, right? That's like saying, do you believe in gravity? Well, whether you believe in gravity or not, gravity exists, right? So whether we believe in something or not is irrelevant, because if the therapeutic is in step with natural laws, then it's going to produce results. If it's out of step with natural laws, it's not going to produce results. And so the naturopathic medical community was formed. One of the foundations of naturopathic medical therapeutics is to prove with scientific inquiry and clinical trials the effectiveness or lack thereof of our treatments. And that's what's so great about naturopathy, because it marries the scientific method with holistic philosophy. And, you know, that's like never fail fudge. So I've seen many different types of eye conditions resolve with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Now, the degree that somebody is able to recover from anything with medical nutrition, whether it's a joint problem, a kidney problem, a liver problem, a skin problem, an eye problem, a weight problem, I don't care. The degree to which somebody is able to bounce back is loaded with variables, too many variables to predict here, right? There is a breaking point beyond which the body just can't fix that anymore. I mean, if you, heaven forbid, cut your finger off, right, with a lawnmower or a table saw, I'm not aware of any therapeutic that allows that finger to grow back, right? I mean, that's a breaking point. So we never know how bad the condition is, and we never know how much the body's going to be able to recover its structure and function. But rather than not doing anything, we march into the breach and say, well, look, the body knows how to fix itself. The body wants to fix itself. So let's give the body a fighting chance. Step out of the way and see how far back the body bounces. And as God is my witness, Deborah, since I've been following Dr. Wallach's methodology for the last four plus years, I don't know what planet I'm on anymore, because the things that I've seen people recover from are amazing to me. I mean, amazing to me. Before I met Dr. Wallach, I used to think I knew, where the point of no return was, but I'm no more, man. And if I had to guess, with medical nutrition, whether someone would be able to bounce back or not, my money would be on that they're able to bounce back. So the basic recommendation here to support and promote healthy eye function is the following. You ready?
Yes.
All right. The recommendation to support and promote healthy eye function is structure and function is 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, and 2 selenium. 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. In addition to that, if you're under 300 pounds, you add 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily capsules. 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily capsules. So that's 1 Ultimate Daily.
Doctor, I just wanted to say that I'm 115 pounds.
Okay, so you would take 100. All right, so you would do 1 anti-aging healthy start pack.
Okay.
2 selenium.
In the morning and at night, or?
Well, this is bottles per month. This is bottles per month.
Oh,
okay.
Bottles. Okay.
All right. So you need every month. You would need to purchase 1 anti-aging healthy start pack.
Okay.
2 selenium.
All right.
And 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily capsules for your supplement needs. Now, another thing that we need to do, that we counsel people to do, is to stop eating food that's hurting, in your case, the eyes. And that list is easy to get. You can get that list for free on my website, drglidden.com. Here comes a commercial break, Deborah. Stick with me, and I'll finish this up with you on the other side of the commercial break. Thanks for tuning in and turning on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. drglidden.com is where you want to be. Tell everybody in your life about it. Tell everybody in your life about this radio show. We are on a mission to change people's lives. No kidding. Talking to Deborah from Florida here, New York rather, who has a vision problem. So Deborah, you still with me?
Yes, I am.
All right. How'd you hear about me, Deborah? How'd you hear about this radio show?
I heard about you yesterday from a friend that knows all about you and said that you're absolutely terrific and that I should call and perhaps you would shed some light on my issues, and I couldn't wait. And I love everything that you're doing, what you're saying. And after we hang up, I'm going to spend a lot of time researching.
Well, flattery will get you everywhere, Deborah. Flattery will get you everywhere.
Yes, and everything that you're saying is absolutely correct. And with all of the products that you take is important, but without diet and listening to all of the other necessary things that must be done, that's how you're going to benefit from having the best results.
Well, and you're absolutely right. And the point that the skill set that we bring to the table, the information set that makes us separate and distinct from everybody else in the holistic world, is the notion that In order for the human body to function the way that God and nature intended it to, it needs 90 essential nutrients, 90. The breakdown of the 90 is 60 minerals, things like calcium and selenium and zinc, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids for a grand total of 90. All of these nutrients are necessary for the body to work properly, but they're called essential because the body can't make them. The body needs to have an essential nutrient imported into it every day. You know, just like we need to drink water and breathe air and eat food every day, well, we need essential nutrients every day. The problem with this situation, however, Deborah, is that the 90 essential nutrients are not present in the food supply. They're not all there. They're just not there. So unless somebody is supplementing their diet with the 90 essential nutrients, it's only a matter of time until the body runs out of something and something breaks. And I mean, this is so simple. It's remarkable to me that everybody in the world isn't aware of this. And so our methodology here and our message is twofold. Number one, import into the body the 90 essential nutrients every single solitary day in good absorbable recipes appropriate for your body weight, right? And number two, stop eating food that's gumming up the works, right? You wouldn't put diesel fuel into an unleaded engine. You wouldn't put jet fuel into an automobile. So there are certain foods that will hurt the human body. The problem is, honestly, that because of the way that society has played itself out in the last 100 years, the food industry has become monopolized by for-profit institutions that don't really care or know anything about health. So we go to people who make the food to tell us what food is good for us, and then we lean on physicians who have no training with medical nutrition to tell us which foods are good for us, and that's why everybody in this country is sick, because we've taken the wrong dog to the hunt. So the information that we have about which foods are healthy for you and which foods are not healthy for you may seem a little curious to you. But I would suggest that you follow our advice for 90 days. I have lots of information on my website, lots of free stuff on my website you can use to educate yourself. And get with the person that told you about this stuff, because they'll be able to order the products for you at the wholesale price, and they'll also be able to tell you how to take them, right? Because there's a way to take this stuff that makes it easy on your system. And this is what we're up to, Deborah. We are a grassroots coalition of the informed all around the world. People who are frustrated with, getting sick, and they're sick and tired, honestly, of being sick and tired, and they know that there must be a better way. And so they try our way, they experience a positive benefit, and then they're going to tell everybody in their world about it. And that's what we do, and that's why we do it. So get with your friend. They'll tell you how to access the stuff and how to take the stuff, and they'll give you the list of the 10 bad foods, and then life is good.
Yes, I think it's so important what you're expressing to everybody, because I thought olive oil was good for me. I thought a lot of things were beneficial.
I know.
I was doing myself a disservice eating margarine. Just a little bit of knowledge I got in a short time. I was doing everything wrong, and now I want to do everything right. And you have to be committed, otherwise you're not going to get the results. And I am committed, and I think without you, I wouldn't be able to look for that healing, because I've been getting eye injections for about 4 months each month. They don't seem to be doing anything for my eyes. If anything, it almost seems worse. And
is it Avastin? Are you getting Avastin shots?
Yes, and I just wanted to know, should I continue? What is your opinion about that? Because I'm sure a lot of people are getting that.
All right, well, this is a slippery slope, right? Remember, it's not the drug, it's how it's used, right? It's not the gun, it's how it's used. Drugs are your best friend when they're used appropriately. But then thank God for Novocaine and penicillin, but the way that the MDs are trained to use drugs is bad. And now, this is a little bit of a slippery slope, because in the great state of New York, I am not allowed to prescribe Avastin. So because I can't prescribe it, I can't recommend people stop it. Now, if you were my patient in a state in which I was licensed and I had prescriptive rights for Avastin in that state, I would advise you to stop it immediately. But I can't do that here in the context of this radio program.
Is that steroids going into the eye?
It's an ineffective, well, from my point of view, it's a treatment that completely misses the mark of what causes the illness. And this is all that the MDs do, by the way. You know, I mean, this is not an MD bashing session. This is let's all just step back and get a clue. Because when it comes to trauma care, broken bones and bullets in your arms and a handful of infectious disease and surgery when it's really necessary, the MDs are awesome. But for everything else, they're not concerned with what causes the eye condition. They're not concerned with what causes the glaucoma. They're not concerned with what causes the pityriasis rosacea or the macular degeneration. They're not concerned with that. They're only trained to manage the symptoms of the disease with drugs. And the intention of the drug is not to fix the problem, but to suppress the symptom and manage the problem. It's like painting over the mold in the basement without fixing the source of the water leak. It's just nuts. It's only a matter of time until it gets worse.
Right.
So, you know, our recommendation is be smart. Give the body a break. Give the body the nutrition that it needs to optimize itself. Stop eating foods that are gumming up the works. Keep your fingers crossed. See what happens. Because really the most wonderful thing about holistic medical nutrition is the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Doesn't matter how much research you do. Doesn't matter how much data I have to support this notion. You're either going to feel better with this program or you're not. And time will tell. I think you're going to love.
You have to feel better. There's no way eating right, taking all these nutrients. How could you feel terrible? Taking pills with side effects and feeling awful. Who would want that? And you spend so much money with the pharmacy. I would much rather know that I'm feeding my body. And for everybody, it may take different amounts of time depending on where they're at. But I think everybody's going to be a winner. You can't be a loser this way.
And that's why my naturopathic profession is the most rapidly growing medical system in the world, because it works. And there's nothing better than results. Deborah, I have to move on. You're my favorite new caller. Call me back every couple weeks with a report. I will look forward to it. Thank you very much. Now, you can tell she's gotten a piece of it, right? She's bitten off a piece of it, and she's sitting on the fence post chewing it. And she's smart enough to understand that, well, you know, if it works, it's going to work. And, well, what I'm doing right now isn't working, and, you know, I might as well do something else. And, well, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to go to a medical profession, licensed and regulated medical profession that is trained in the therapeutic administration of alternatives to MD insanity, and that's exactly what we do. It's a very exciting field. You know, this is not a miracle cure. This is not a panacea for all human ills. It's not. But I tell you what it is: new-fashioned medical nutrition that produces results. I mean, there's nothing here but good common sense, which produces results. Let's go to Tennessee and talk to Joe. Hey, Joe, thanks for hanging on. You are live.
Hello.
Hello, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
Very, very good. What part of Tennessee are you in?
Knoxville.
Knoxville, Tennessee. Very, very nice. Ever been to Chattanooga?
I've been through Chattanooga. Yes, sir. It's
yes, sir.
Place.
Yeah, I've never been to Knoxville. I've been to Chattanooga. I've been to one other place in Tennessee. I can't remember it.
Well, come visit us.
I'd love to, man. I'd love to. Well, what makes you call in today, Joe? How can I help?
I got a brother who's got, they're saying he's got neuropathy, and we started him on the pig pack.
Oh, yeah. Smart man.
It's time to renew, and we just wanted to talk to you guys and make sure that we're on the right track.
Okay, great. So how long's he been on the pig pack?
This is his first month.
And did he experience any benefit from it anywhere in his body, mind?
Well, he's sitting here with me, so...
All right, yeah, let me talk to him. What's his name?
His name's Caleb.
Caleb. Hey, Caleb.
Hi there.
Hey, Caleb, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. So, Caleb, you've been doing this stuff for 4 weeks now, and we don't speak anything but the truth here. So no fibbing allowed, right? In the last 4 weeks, has anything brightened up? Has anything improved? Mood, energy, sleep?
No, that's the reason why we want to know if we got the right stuff.
Okay, great. So how old are you?
84.
And how much do you weigh?
235.
Okay, and you have neuropathy in your hands or in your feet?
In my hands and my feet, and I'm numb, almost numb up to my knees.
Okay, are you shorter than you used to be when you were a younger man?
Yes, sir, a little bit.
Yeah, about a half an inch or an inch?
Oh, at least an inch, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, so here's the deal, right? A couple things to understand. The only time that medical nutrition doesn't work is if you're not taking the right stuff or you're not absorbing what you're taking efficiently. So, if the fuel line to the engine is clogged, I don't care how good the quality gasoline you're going to put in the tank, it's not going to be getting to the engine efficiently and the engine's going to sputter, right? So we need to make sure that your body is absorbing the stuff that you're taking efficiently. And then we have to give the program a reasonable amount of time to produce results. When we do both of those things, we're going to get results. And we're coming up against a hard break here. Caleb, you stick with me. On the other side of the break, I'll dial this in for you. I appreciate your phone call very much. Stick around, buddy. I'll bring you up on the other side of the break. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for turning on. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Today is the 28th day of May, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Glidden here, finishing up the first hour, Wednesday, May 28th, 2014. We're talking to Joe and Caleb in Tennessee. Caleb's trying to figure out the best thing to get on month number 2. So, Caleb, how much do you weigh, man?
235.
Okay, how tall are you?
5'9".
Okay, so here's the thing I want you to understand.
Let me say this: I don't have good blood flow into my legs.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, why are your feet cold all the time?
Yeah, they hurt. I got a lot of pain.
And how about swelling up? Do they get swollen up?
Huh?
Does water accumulate in your legs?
No.
Okay, good. That's a very good thing. Do you get restless legs at night in bed, or is it hard to fall asleep?
No.
Okay.
No,
and
I get relief when I lay down.
Yeah, and do you sleep through the night pretty good?
Well, I wake up. I have to go to the bathroom several times. But otherwise, I sleep good.
Yeah, okay. And how about heartburn? Are you bothered by heartburn at all?
No, sir.
How about high blood pressure?
No, sir. And
how's your energy?
It's not real good. I take a lot of gabapentin.
Oh, yeah.
For the pain.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, very good. So here's the deal, Caleb. I'm going to tell you how much to take of this in just a minute, but I want to preface this by saying this, and this is an important thing to understand, not just for you, but for everybody. This is not specifically a peripheral neuropathy treatment. All right, this is a Caleb from Tennessee treatment. And what I mean by that is,
I got it.
It's a holistic thing, right? So when you're on board with this program, in addition to looking to see what happens to your hands and your feet and your legs and your arms, you want to look to see what happens to your mood, your energy, your appetite, your weight, your sleep, everything, right? Because, from our point of view, everything is connected. Now, once you start to experience improvement somewhere in your body, Once something starts to brighten up and get better, your mood gets better, your energy gets better, your weight gets better, whatever, that's a very, very good sign, and that's an indication that we're on the right track and that we just need to maintain the discipline until the body, sorts itself out. You can't plant a tomato seed on Monday and expect to be eating a tomato on Friday, but you can expect to be eating a tomato 3 months later, right?
Right.
All right, it's the same with the body. Now, generally speaking, the recommendation here for something noticeable to happen is 90 days, 3 months. So, the recommendation for everybody is 3 months. So here's what I would recommend that you do every month in order to get on the other side of this. You're at the weight that you're at, the recommendation would be every month to purchase two anti-aging Healthy Start Pack original formulas. 2 anti-aging Healthy Start Packs.
Anti-aging
Healthy Packs original formula.
Packs.
Original formula. Yep.
Original formula.
4 selenium. 4 selenium.
4 selenium.
Yep. 4 bottles of liquid Glucogel Plus.
Progel Plus.
Yeah, liquid Glucogel Plus. Glucogel.
Gel Plus.
Yeah, that's G like Gary, L-U-C-O. Yeah, Glucogel Plus. Now, I understand. It's all right. Okay. So that's 4 Glucogel, 4 selenium, 2 anti-aging Healthy Start Packs, and the last thing I'm going to want you to do is 2 bottles of plant-derived minerals. 2 bottles of plant-derived minerals. Now, you also, Caleb, you and your brother and everybody else in your life needs to stop eating the 10 bad foods. Your brother probably knows what that list is. If he doesn't, you can download it for free on my website, drglidden.com. You need to stop eating food that's hurting your bones and your joints and your nerves. And the last thing you want to do is eat a diet high in cholesterol. Eggs, butter, anything that's high in cholesterol you want to eat a lot of, because your nerves are made from cholesterol and they need cholesterol in order to help them repair themselves. Eliminate the 10 bad foods, eat a diet high in cholesterol, take those supplements, and call me back in 4 weeks. I appreciate you guys. Gotta go. Hour 2 coming up, folks. Don't even think about touching that dial. Hour 2, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hour 2. Wednesday, May 28th. It's Hump Day. Where does the time go? God only knows where the time goes. The phones are ringing off the hook, though. That's a good thing. Let's go up to Canada and talk to Rita. Hey, Rita, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I wish I were feeling better.
Okay, well, maybe I can help.
Well, I sure hope so, because I'm feeling pretty desperate at the moment and confused.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, I have problems with my bowel and have for, a candida and bowel control for a long time. And I started in February, the 1st of February, doing the longevity program. I did it for over 2 months and had gradually the bowel became normal. I was having normal movements and having really good success. And then, because my nails were cracking and dry skin, I decided to go from the osteo powder to the liquid.
Yeah.
And as I continued with the liquid, gradually things got worse and got back to pretty much where they were before. And then I was talking to Mike on the phone, and he suggested that I go back to the powder, but in the meantime, to take an ounce of the liquid osteo in orange juice. So I did that night, and I had diarrhea for most of the night, and it continued. And then it kind of calmed down a little bit, so I thought, well, I got the powder from somebody else, and I took the powder because I thought that was the answer. And I got worse diarrhea than I had before. I let you know, too, that I have a problem with magnesium, that I'm sensitive to it, so I was surprised that I was able to take the osteo with the, because that's quite a bit of magnesium. I also have high copper levels. I don't know what else.
Well, how do you know you have high copper levels?
I had been tested about 2 years ago.
With a blood work or a urinalysis?
Urinalysis.
And did you challenge that urinalysis with DMSA? You take some DMSA before you did it?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So, how do you know you have Candida, by the way?
Well, I was told years ago that I had Candida, and I have lots of problems with my bowel, so I assume it's Candida. And
yeah, well, that's one of my pet peeves. I consider myself an expert in the field of Candida and the gastrointestinal tract. And one of the problems with my profession, I mean, I get up on the stump every day and tell people what the problem with the MDs are, and I'm happy to do it because somebody needs to. But there's a problem in naturopathic medicine also, and every time you turn around, somebody's diagnosing somebody with Candida, and Candida, quite frankly, is a garbage can diagnosis. There's only one laboratory in the United States that even comes close to having a valid testing methodology for that, and it's a very easy thing to misinterpret. It's a very easy thing to diagnose, and it's just wrong. It's the wrong diagnosis. It's not there. So you may have this, you may not have this, but in any event, when we think about the gastrointestinal tract, in order to support and promote its structure and function, and especially if somebody has chronic symptomology in the gastrointestinal tract, like chronic constipation, chronic gas, chronic diarrhea, whatever,
right.
The first, second, third, and fourth things to consider before we consider anything else, like, heavy metal toxicity or Candida or parasitic infections or an alien implant, right? Before we start considering anything else, we have to stop eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats.
I haven't been eating those for a long time.
Well, how long is long?
Maybe 6 months.
Okay, great. So, and now I have to tell you that one of the easiest things in the world to do is to eat a food that you wouldn't think has wheat, barley, rye, or oats in it, but it does. So you want to look to see when you switched out the products and everything started to go south and you got bad symptoms again.
Yeah.
You want to just look to see if inadvertently you were eating anything that had gluten in it, but you weren't aware of it. Now, the most common sources of that are soups, chowders, sauces, gravy, and licorice. Soups, chowders, sauces, gravies, and licorice. And it's easy to sneak that stuff in. Now, if you were gluten-free and you got these symptoms, by the way, were you taking selenium when you, and how much of that were you taking?
About 2 a day, probably. I was supposed to take more, but I would often forget, so I was probably taking 2 a day, but that didn't change. Like, I probably started taking more rather than less as I went along.
Well, because one of the signs of an overdose of selenium is your nails get funky and brittle. So the first thing that I would have counseled you to do is to cut down on your selenium dosage.
Okay.
If you get funky nails. Did anybody tell you that your breath started to get a little funny as well?
No.
Okay.
I don't know that it did. I had no idea of it. I saw that, I heard that, but I had no idea that I did. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting because selenium and copper have an interesting relationship in the human body, and normally if somebody has high levels of copper, they have low levels of selenium, and vice versa. So where are you, in the continuum here? I mean, where are you at, and have you stopped the supplements altogether, or what's going on?
The last few days I did because I've had diarrhea for the last week and a half, and the only thing that'll stop it is Imodium, and I'm so I guess I can use the word pissed off with everything that I'm kind of gone crazy. I don't care what happens then. So
I get it. Well, and rightly so, right? I mean, because that's a hard row to hoe. No kidding. But, there's a rational explanation for this, and things don't just happen for no reason. One of the things that happens to the gastrointestinal tract, or quite frankly, anything in the body, if you get a mosquito bite, right? It takes the mosquito, 20 seconds to bite you. But once it's bitten you, you're going to have a little bump on your skin for maybe 4 or 5 days, right?
Yeah.
It's going to take your body a while to heal the inflammation that was caused by the mosquito bite. Well, when you dump into your intestinal tract a nutritional supplement that's inappropriate, or, you haven't absorbed it appropriately, and it causes a chain reaction in your gastrointestinal tract and upsets the apple cart, it takes the body 2, 3, 4 days to recover from that, even if you stop taking it, because the damage has already been done, and we need to just back off on everything until everything calms down. So here's what I would recommend you do by way of experimentation. Number one, really just double check to make sure that you haven't inadvertently been sneaking wheat, barley, rye, or oat gluten into your body, in something, okay? So double check that, okay? Start to eat 1 apple a day. 1 apple a day. With the skin, you don't have to eat the core or the pit, just eat an apple a day, 1 apple a day.
Okay.
Make sure that you're drinking at least 12 ounces of water once a day. 12 ounces of water once a day.
12 ounces, that's all?
Well, at least, right?
Okay.
More is better, okay? But you want to at least be doing that. I don't want you to exercise for the next 3 days until this, or, until I don't want you to exercise. But by exercise, I mean I don't want you to go to the gym or get on a treadmill or do anything like that until this diarrhea stuff goes away, okay?
Yeah, I haven't been actually going out of the house, and I don't want to be taking Imodium, so...
Yeah, okay, good. Well, yeah, it's a pain in the you-know-what, right?
It is, exactly.
I know. All right, so once things have settled down, which I anticipate will take maybe 48 hours, then I want you to go back to the original products that you were taking, the original products, okay?
Yes.
And 1 day at a time, I want you to take 1 dose only, 1 dose of each of the supplements. So the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, I want you to do just 1 level scoop in 12 ounces of water, and I want you to take 60 minutes to drink it down minimum, and look to see how you respond to that.
Now, are you telling me just to do that one thing that 1 day?
Correct.
Okay.
Because we're going to try to target and find out exactly which of the products are giving you trouble here, and this is the only way to do it, right? Yeah. Okay. Then the next day, I want you to do the essential fatty acids. I want you to do 2 essential fatty acids with breakfast or lunch, all right? 2 of those with breakfast or lunch. I would be very surprised if those caused any problem whatsoever.
Okay.
Then on the 3rd day, I want you to do the Beyond OsteoFX powder the same way that you did it when you first started.
Okay.
Now, if by day 3 you're good to go and there's nothing aggravating happening.
Now I'm taking just 1 of these each day.
Correct.
I'm not adding the next.
Correct.
To it.
Yeah. So you only do the Beyond Tangy on day 1.
Right.
On day 2 you only do the fish oil, and on day 3 you only do the calcium. Yes. All right. And I don't want you to do the selenium anymore. All right.
Okay.
Not yet. Now, if by day 3, right, once you've added the 3rd supplement, everything is good and there's no worries.
Yes.
Then on day 4, I want you to go to the full dose for your body weight.
Okay.
Okay, of everything.
Of everything. Okay, do all of them.
Yep. Okay. But remember, have Mike Phillip send you a link to a webinar that I did called Maximizing the Absorption of Your Supplements. All right?
Okay.
Because, there's a way to take this stuff, to dilute it, in certain quantities and to take it with a meal or between meals or whatever in order to increase your body's efficiency at absorbing the stuff. And then on day 5, right, call me back and tell me what happened, and I'll tell you what to do moving forward. Sound like a plan?
That's a great plan.
All right, Rita, we're all out of time in this segment. I'm sorry. I appreciate you very much. Give me a call back, and I'll look forward to it. Stick around, folks. More to come. It's an interesting thing to think about, isn't it? Right? You know, it takes just a second or two for inflammation to happen in the body, but then it takes a number of days for it to go away. And, you know, if you squeeze lemon juice on your hand, no problem whatsoever. But if you squeeze lemon juice onto a cut on your hand, that's a big problem. So, depending on the integrity of your intestinal tract, depending on the integrity of your stomach, depending on the integrity of your colon, the nutritional supplements that we recommend are either going to be easily absorbed, not so easily absorbed, or they're going to be hardly absorbed at all. And if there's inflammatory tissues in and around the gut, when the nutritional supplements come into contact with them, they're going to cause, fear and loathing. But again, this is not because it's the nutritional supplement that's doing it, because if that were the case, everybody who took it would get that symptom. It's a direct indication that something is wrong with your intestinal tract and that, you know, we need to look there in order to help get your body back on track. Florida's up next with Debbie. Hey, Debbie, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, Dr. G, how are you?
I'm good, Debbie. What's happening?
Hi, I'm one of your insiders, and I was on the question and answer webinar last night, and I was the one who typed in about the bruised ribs.
Yeah.
Well, you told me to get the Arnica Montana in the 1M.
Yeah.
And all I could find was the 30 Cs.
Yeah,
so
okay.
You told me to take 2 tablets, pellets, 3 times a day. Is that the same amount that I would on this?
Smart girl, smart question, good question. So, no. The homeopathic medicines are made in different dilution schedules. Mm-hmm. And the different dilution schedules are indicated by the number after the homeopathic medicine, right? So, and here's how it goes. It starts with 6C, and then 12C, and then 30C, then 200C, then 1M, then 10M, then 50M, then 100M, then MM. Actually, interesting. So, depending on the dilution of the homeopathic that you get, you're going to need to take it more or less frequently, depending on what we're up to. So, with a 30C strength of Arnica Montana for a bruised rib, in order to support and promote your body's ability to optimize the structure and function of a bruised bone in the body, the recommendation would be 2 pellets every 3 hours while you're awake for 1 day. 2 pellets every 3 hours while you're awake. Now, homeopathy, when applied acutely, is black or white. It either works or it does not work. And you will know, by the time you go to bed tonight, whether or not it's worked. Now, the curious thing about homeopathy is, and this is completely counterintuitive, and it is exactly the opposite of what we do with medical nutrition. With homeopathy, especially in an acute situation, when you take a dose or 2 or 3 or 4 of the homeopathic medicine and you experience relief, a noticeable, measurable relief, you stop taking the homeopathic. You would think, well, I'm just going to keep taking it, but you stop taking it, which is the opposite of what we do with vitamins, right? We take vitamins every day, regardless. But homeopathy is not like that. Homeopathy is like jump-starting a dead battery in a car, and when you do that and the engine turns over, you don't keep the batteries hooked up, right? You remove the cables and you stop the jump process. Well, when a homeopathic kicks in, you stop it. So the recommendation is 2 pellets every 3 hours until you go to bed. And by bedtime, you should have noticed whether there's been a strong positive change. If there's been no strong positive change after 3 or 4 doses of that homeopathic, then it's not going to work, and you could take a truckload of it and it wouldn't do anything. So have you ever done a homeopathic before?
No, this is the first time.
Yeah, it's an interesting field of endeavor. The first 12 years of my medical career were spent almost exclusively with the therapeutic use of homeopathy. That's all that I did. Didn't do medical nutrition, didn't do herbs, didn't do diet, didn't do detox, just did homeopathy. And I have to tell you, homeopathy, when properly prescribed, is miraculous. You wouldn't believe the things I've seen people recover from with homeopathy. But you're going to know, by the 4th or the 5th dose, whether it's working or not. And if it's not working, call me back tomorrow, and I'll tell you what to do next. I appreciate you, Debbie, very much. Give it a try and get back in touch. Stick around, folks. Leon from California is up next. California is up to bat now. Leon. Maybe it's Leon Russell. We'll see. Hey, Leon, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, Doc. Thank you very much for sharing. I've been listening to you a lot. Found your website. I did become a distributor, but, the people really who I talk to haven't been helpful in giving me a lot of information. I've listened to many of your pre-recorded archive things. I signed up for the annual membership also on your website, and I also ordered your CDs last week. So I'm looking forward to learning from you.
All right, well, let me tell you this about that, Leon. I appreciate you very much, and this is the deal, right? So there is a way to show this message to people that will chase them away from you, and there's a way to show this to people that will attract them to you. And it would behoove you and everybody else, right, to learn how to do it the easy way and the correct way. And on my website, as part of an insider, in addition to all of the health stuff, I think we have 5 hours of archived business training. So my advice to you would be to watch each one of the business training webinars, and we give you instructions and homework to do right after each one. And if you follow the advice laid out in the business training, your experience with generating an income with Youngevity and actually being able to capture people and get them to give it a try is going to go up exponentially. And if you don't do that, well, I mean, maybe every once in a while we find someone who's a natural at this, right? And they're just, I mean, it just comes easily to them. But if that's not you, it can become a very frustrating process. And, it's like, holy smokes, how stupid are people? I'm telling you, it can become very, very frustrating, man.
Exactly.
So I'm telling you, a little bit of knowledge in the business goes a long way towards making your life easy, and you don't feel you don't feel like a failure, because it's easy to feel like a failure with Youngevity or with any other situation like this, because if you can capture 25% of the people that you talk to, you're a genius. 25% is a really, really good number. And if you become a student of the business, if you become a student of the enrollment process, and if you become like the Youngevity Jedi in how you talk to people about this, I mean, everything changes. And so I'm glad that you found us, and I'm looking forward to help you as much as I can.
Well, I thank you for that. And I can't agree with you more, because, especially here in the U.S., because people will sometimes put up the crucifix and say, no, don't talk to me. No, we don't want to know about it. Especially if it's family.
Oh, my God. Tell me about it. Well, don't feel bad, buddy. My parents wouldn't listen to me, and it was me. So, I mean, what? That's like they say, the prophet is never accepted in his hometown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny thing.
Along that line, I'm trying to get information not only for myself on what I should do, but more importantly, and I did send you an email, and I sent it to a couple of places trying to hopefully get it in your hand, but I'm calling about my sister. My sister, who for maybe 30 years, and she's about 55 years old now, she had scleroderma. And, she really never talked about it. But for all these years, we've seen her put on a little weight, but now she's really slender. And she's never really talked about her condition until recently she hurt her back. So she went in for an X-ray. And in the X-ray, they said, well, what's this spot on your lung? Let's go look. So just this week, they went ahead and did a biopsy. And it turns out that she has lung cancer. So she's not one for nutrition, because I have been involved with other things in the past, but family doesn't want to listen. They're stubborn. And she's not really taken anything. And I don't think the doctors have done much by way of prescription. I'm sure they give her some kind of meds, but obviously it's nothing that's healed her, cured her, helped her. So now we're looking at lung cancer, and we don't know yet if anything spread to the brain. That's probably going to be the next set of tests this week. So what should she be doing on a massive scale to change her condition or improve her condition?
Well, the first thing she has to do is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? So the first thing she has to do is wrap her head around the notion that there's legitimacy to naturopathy and to science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. The single best way that I've seen to kind of open up that part of a person's brain, people who think that they're skeptical, they're really not skeptical, because if they were skeptical, then they never would take anything that the MDs hand out. Because, a truly skeptical person would ask the MD, well, who makes the drug? How does the drug work? What are the side effects? Is the drug going to cure the condition? How much money are you going to make from giving me this drug? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But nobody asks those questions to the MDs, but they'll ask all those questions to us, thinking that they're skeptical. They're not skeptical. They're closed-minded conformists, and there's a great deal of difference between a truly skeptical person and a closed-minded conformist. But in order to leverage people's brains towards the light, to open up a little crack in their brain and let the light in a little bit, the single best way to do that, in my experience, has been with the Dead Doctors Don't Lie CD. Right. That CD is brilliant. And because of the person that it's coming from, Dr. Wallach, and the way that he delivers the message, it really just resonates with people, and it helps people to just consider for a moment that there might be something to this nutritional stuff. And I think that's the best place to start, by way of a kind of a psyops operation here, to try to open her mind up to the possibility of what we're up to. It's the Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Now, that's been edited. The best way to get that is the latest iteration is called the Best of Dead Doctors Don't Lie, right? So I would get her to listen to that. And if she doesn't want to listen to it, you know what I would do? I'd say, hey, sis, let's go out for a drive. I'd get onto the highway, I'd put the CD into my car, and I'd turn it up, and I just wouldn't get off the highway until it was over, and I would force her to listen to it, right?
Right.
Number one. Number two.
That's the story that Blake did. Blake had to do the same thing with his mother.
I know. That's what you're exactly correct. And that's what turned his mother. And that was a great story. So another thing that you want to do, just by way of kind of education, is cut, copy, and paste from my book, the 10 questions you need to ask her oncologist. And you should encourage her to ask her oncologist these 10 questions, politely, with a recording device and a witness. And if she can actually get the gumption up to ask her oncologist these questions, then the answers that the oncologist gives her will help her to see what's really going on. It's kind of like pulling back the curtain. The problem with cancer treatment is that everybody is so freaking scared. The medical doctor could tell them to jump off the roof of the hospital and people would do it, right? Because they're just in the fear factor. And we've been conditioned to believe anything that comes out of the MD's mouth. So when you just ask simple, straightforward questions, does the treatment that you're recommending cure my cancer? I mean, that's a pretty good question. When people just ask the questions in sequential order and listen to the answers that the oncologist gives, then they have more of kind of a grounding in reality. And whenever somebody's more grounded in reality, it's easier for them to make appropriate choices. All right, now having said all of that, selenium supplementation has been proven to decrease the occurrence of lung cancer by 33%, even in smokers. So we can postulate that if selenium supplementation decreases the occurrence of cancer, it would be prudent for somebody to take who was in the lungs it would be prudent for somebody to take who was trying to optimize the structure and function of their lungs. Remember, we do not treat cancer. That's illegal. We don't treat cancer. We don't treat scleroderma. We don't even treat arthritis. We support and promote the body's ability to fix itself, and that's a different animal entirely. So the recommendation here, if I were your sister, what I would do is I would do 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. I would do
2 bottles. Are we talking about 2 bottles?
Yep, 2 bottles. 2 bottles of selenium. Yep, per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Yep.
So if you weighed, say, 140 or 150, so 150, say.
Well, I'd give her the 200-pound dose then. Because we have to intervene aggressively, right?
Yeah, we do. So
all right.
So that would be 4 bottles a month.
Yep, 4 selenium, 2 anti-aging healthy start packs. I would give her 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily capsules a month. 1 bottle of Ultimate Dailies. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I would give her glucogel in capsule form. I'd give her the glucogel in capsule form. 1 bottle of the 240 count a month. 1 bottle of the 240 count glucogel a month capsules. And to finish it off, as much Z-Radical as she can afford. If she can afford a bottle a day, then that's what I would get. If she can afford,
what is it called?
Z like zebra, radical.
Uh-huh.
Z like zebra, radical, Z-Radical. I would do a bottle a day if she can afford it. If she can't afford that, a bottle a week, a bottle every 2 weeks, a bottle every 3 weeks, a bottle a month, whatever. But Z-Radical would be what I would do a lot of were I given this diagnosis. I would also have her get Dr. Wallach's CD. He did an audio CD with another doctor. I forget this guy's name, but they did a whole series on juicing, vegetable juicing. And Dr. Wallach used to work at an alternative cancer treatment center in Mexico. And they came up with some very innovative therapies to support and promote the bodies of people who were suffering with cancer. Fresh squeezed vegetable and fruit juice therapeutics was an integral part of what they did there. And Dr. Wallach has a whole instructional video CD series about that. So you want to visit his website to check that out. It's drjwallach.com, drjwallach.com, or maybe Wellness Publications, one of the two. Wellness Publications might be a better place, wellnesspublications.com, in order to find that. But I tell you what, man, the hardest thing here is going to be, getting her into action, right?
Right.
Yep. And the best way to do that is try to strike a chord, because remember, all that we do with longevity is tell the truth and point. And right. the truth will resonate inside of her, and she's either going to answer the call or not, and, that's her deal. It's not your deal. whatever she does, that's her business, that's her karma, that's her, path through life. But at least you can show it to her and then be there if she chooses to listen to your advice. That's how I would handle it, Leon. And here comes the music. We're up against a break. Appreciate the phone call. Is there anything else I need to talk to you about?
You're probably out of time, and I thank you all for the time. I did send an email that will maybe get to you.
All right, Leon. I'll look for it. I'll look for it, brother. Thank you very much. Stick around, folks. We're finishing it out. Welcome back, everybody. Doris from New Jersey is up next. I'm going to pot her up in just a second here. Celeste from L.A. had a question about yellow urine, and this is a normal occurrence. If you're taking anything with B vitamins in it, and the Youngevity Beyond Tangy Tangerine is loaded with them, they will turn your urine bright yellow. This is an indication that they are working in your system, not that you are peeing them out. The goal here is to get the urine to be a straw-colored yellow, not a bright neon yellow. So you want to mess around with the dosage and how you're taking the stuff, how concentrated it is, how long you're taking to drink it, in order to get the straw yellow color. Neon yellow means that you're drinking too concentrated a dose too quickly, but there's nothing there to be concerned about whatsoever. Let's go to New Jersey now and talk to Doris. Hey, Doris. Thanks for the call.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
I got two things to ask. Is there any help for herniated disc in the neck? And,
yes, the answer is yes. Yep.
It's also pushing on her nerves in her hands, so both of her hands are numb.
Yeah. How old is this woman?
She's 53.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, so, we can support and promote the structure and function of intervertebral discs and any cartilage in the body, really. The problem with disc support is that the intervertebral discs in the body have not a whole lot of blood flow goes to the discs, right? A ton of blood goes to the liver, a ton of blood goes to the kidneys, right? But not a lot goes to the discs. So the discs take a long time to fix themselves, I would have her visit a chiropractor who specializes in neck stuff, because there's stuff that the chiropractor can do to relieve the pain and the tension while she's waiting for the medical nutrition to kick in. She can use the CM cream topically on her neck, around the part of her neck where the discs are herniated, because that will knock down the inflammatory process in a way that's not going to kill her. She can do that externally, while internally, the recommendation is the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, right? So it's 1 Healthy Bone and Joint Pack and 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 Healthy Bone and Joint Pack and 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and have her use that CM cream liberally on her neck. And she should know within 4 weeks whether it's helping or not, right? She should know within 4 weeks.
Right.
Another big bugaboo here, right, is, inflammation is involved with everything, right? And especially when there's pain, there's a heightened inflammatory process going on. And so, if there was a little tiny fire in your backyard and you went out and sprinkled gasoline on it, it would get worse.
Right.
But if there wasn't a fire in the backyard and you went out and sprinkled gasoline, well, nothing happens, right? Except, it might poison the grass, right? So whenever there's an ongoing chronic inflammatory process in the human body, when that person then eats the 10 bad foods, it makes it worse. Yeah, it's
so
like
that also helps the carpal tunnel in the wrist.
Yeah, well, yeah. So now carpal tunnel syndrome is slightly different. Carpal tunnel, we believe, is caused in part by a deficiency in a strange mineral called molybdenum. And let me spell that for you. MOLY, B like baby, D like Daniel, ENUM, molybdenum. But no worries, because the molybdenum is present in the plant minerals. So in order to support and promote the carpal tunnel and the wrist, the recommendation would be the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, interestingly enough.
Healthy Brain.
Yeah, but you want to add to that 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals per 100 pounds per 50 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals per 50 pounds of body weight per month, because that has the molybdenum in it. And you know, Doris, everybody's got to stop the 10 bad foods. Appreciate you very much. Spencer in Alaska, sorry I couldn't get to you. Sharon in Tennessee, sorry I couldn't get to you. Call me tomorrow. I'll put you up first. I'll look forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, live long and prosper, God willing, and the creek don't rise. See you tomorrow.